I'm going to review this book, World Chess Championship 2021, between Ian Nepomniachtchi versus Magnus Carlsen. The book has been made with the collaboration of Grandmaster Castelmuller, and the main authors are Jerzy Konikowski and Uwe Beckmann. The book is very interesting because it doesn't show only the 11 games of the World Championship match, but it shows also previous encounters, and it shows also, here you can see the table of contents. We have a chapter 1 with the portraits of the players, chapter 2, which is the previous fights of the protagonists, which means Nepo and Carlsen, and chapter 3, there is a chapter dedicated to positions taken from their games. Chapter 4, the predictions, and chapter 5, finally, the 11 games of the match. As you can see, here is the chapter with the positions to solve, so it's kind of very interesting. And the game is 162 pages. I would like to show you one of the games between Carlsen and Nepomniachtchi. Okay? It's a game from the internet, and I will tell you which one. Okay, so this is game 15. Game 15, Carlsen versus Nepomniachtchi. It was played in the Legends of Chess final on chess24.com in 2020. So Carlsen is white. D4, knight f6, knight f3, g6. After this move, bishop f4, the authors show 2 pages, very thick, annotated, of other games that Carlsen has played against the King's Indian with other system. What does this mean? This means that Carlsen has a very extensive opening repertoire, and obviously people who are not professional at that level for sure don't have such an extensive thing. I'm not going to show it because, like I said, it's more than 2 pages in which show how Carlsen damage and demolish most of his opponents using different weapons against the King's Indian. The game continued with bishop g7, e3, castle, bishop e2, d6, this is the King's Indian, and castle. Again, for this first move, the authors really show the research they have done. Okay, I will not show it because I would find it boring to make the video like 60 minutes long, showing each game with the final evaluation and so on. While I care much more about the middle game. And that's what I care when I buy a book like this. I care that the author show me the critical moments, make me think, and see if I can understand why that was a critical moment, and what I should have done, or what I could have played compared to Carlsen, and so on. So the game continues with knight h5. Nepo's idea of attacking with the knights on the king's side turns out to be of no benefit. Obviously, Carlsen doesn't want to exchange right away, so he plays bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, g5, and now Carlsen plays a move that I found interesting, knight fd2, so attacking this, and proposing here, take this bishop, but I'm going to take this, and you have clearly a damage construction. You have clearly a way that I can attack you better. So that was an interesting move, right? Obviously, black doesn't want to do that. He returns back, knight f6. bishop g3, knight c6. Knight c3. Notice how interesting is the fact that Carlsen decided to develop this knight instead of playing something like c4 and trying to control the center. Knight c3, e5, d takes e5, knight takes e5. Of course, also d takes e5 was an alternative. And now there is a good move. Here, this is already a critical position. And so you should stop this video and try to see what would you play if you were white. Okay? Carlsen played f4. Previously was played h3. Okay? So f4, a good move. Knight e, g4. Rook f3, defending, go. Rook e8, attacking another time. Knight f1, defending again. And knight h5 again, like before. This knight seems to go back and forth between the side and the center. At first glance, the black position makes an active impression. Now, if you were white, what would you play? Okay? This is not a particularly difficult idea, but I think it's a good exercise, right? White played bishop e1, which is considered a good move. At this point, black made a mistake. What do you think should black play in this position? So pause the video and try to find out. In the game, he played f5, that is the mistake. The right move was g takes f4, okay? And here there is a kind of analysis why this move is good, okay? But he played f5. Now, bishop c4 check. This is a thing which happens when you play f5, that everything becomes kind of vulnerable. And notice if what would you have played if you were white in case black would have played king h8. What would you play as white? Try to find it out, okay? Then you get the book and you will discover it because it's written. In the game, he played bishop e6. Bishop takes e6, rook takes e6, h3, knight g f6, f takes g5, h takes g5, and rook takes f5. Given white's huge advantage, no further comment is necessary. Bishop h6, g4, knight g7, rook f3, queen d7, knight g3, rook a e8, bishop f2, queen c6, e4, knight d7, and now there is the final move, which is knight d5, and black resigns. So I hope you like the game. I hope you eventually will buy the book and discover more about not only the World Chess Championship, but about the encounters they had before. And of course, I found particularly interesting that there were all these exercises that you can do, because at least the book is clearly more active and will teach you something. Hope you enjoy it.